everyone. Welcome to the UKC virtual premiere, and I am so glad that you can join us. My name is Denise Favla, and I am the program manager for Conformation, drag racing, lure coursing, and weight pull for the United Kennel Club. If you give me just a second here. There. This presentation is geared for the brand new exhibitor, and today I will be going over some of the following. How to earn the UKC Champion title, UKC point system, and understanding the requirements, what it takes to earn the UKC Grand Champion title, preparing for your first show and tips on what to bring with you, tips on setting up at the event, entering your dog into the event and conformation classes, know how or when it's your turn to show, some show tips you can use, what the judge expects from the exhibitor, tips on how to gait your dog, and then, of course, my closing comments. So I'm hoping before we start that everyone is having a good time. We all have important roles to play in the sport of dogs, and it is especially important that the seasoned exhibitor reach out and help the new exhibitor in understanding the sport of dogs. Without the commitment of our experienced exhibitors, we will not be able to keep the new exhibitors engaged and active in conformation events. So with this said, let's start. The question we get asked the most is, how do you earn your UKC Champion title? Before I get into any details, let me say first that the UKC point system is unlike any other registry. There are 3 requirements to earn the champion title, and without completing all 3 requirements, the champion title cannot be achieved. So the first requirement the dog has to earn, they must be awarded a minimum of 100 championship points. The second requirement is the dog must earn a minimum of 3 competition wins. And the third requirement is that the dog, those competition wins earned by your dog must be under 3 separate judges. So I will be going into detail how to obtain all 3 requirements in a minute. But first, I would like to dispel some of the myths that are out and about the shows. So the first myth, you may have heard that you will get a competition win by beating another dog. While it is true that you must beat another dog to earn a competition win, before any dog is eligible to earn a competition win, that dog must be awarded at minimum either the best male or the best female win. So in other words, if there are 2 dogs in your class and your dog is awarded first place in the class, this is not a competition win. But if this same dog goes on and is awarded the best of sex, that would be the best male or the best female win, then that win over that other dog will count as a competition win. So keep that in mind. You have to win or be awarded best male or best female before competition will also be granted to your dog. Myth number 2, your dog has earned 100 championship points, so is it now a champion? This is not necessarily true. Remember, there are 3 requirements, and each requirement only counts for 1/3 of the champion title. So yes, your dog needs 100 points, but you also need to have your 3 competition wins earned under the 3 separate judges to complete the title. And lastly, myth number 3, you get championship points for your competition wins. This requirement is probably the most confusing, and I hope to make this clear. First, there are points which go to your champion title, and then there are competition wins. Points and competition wins are calculated separately, but both are needed to earn the champion title. So when you do points, the points to your champion title stop at the best of winners. So you would not get points at the best of breed or the group or the best of show. So they stop at best of winners. So however, in competition, that competition win can be earned all the way through best in show. Okay. So when determining competition wins, you want to keep your points out of the equation. All right, so let's talk points. The first requirement and, of course, the basic points. UKC has 2-point systems. 1-point system is for non-variety breeds, such as breeds like the Doberman Pinscher, the Australian Shepherd, or even the Golden Retriever. The other point system is for variety breeds, such as the American Eskimo, the Belgian Shepherd Dog, or the Collie. Knowing whether your dog is a variety breed or not will help you calculate your championship points correctly. So if you're unsure if your breed is a variety breed, I suggest go to the UK website, review your breed standard. At the bottom of that standard, it will state if your breed is a variety breed and what those varieties are for your breed. For non-variety breeds, points are earned progressively in 3 ways, and they would be calculated as follows. Your first place class win, you would get 5 points. If you win best male or best female, that win is 10 points. And winning best of winners is worth 5 points. So let's now talk just the points about the variety breeds. They're just a little bit different. When it comes to breeds with varieties, points are earned progressively also in 4 ways, and they would be calculated as follows. Your first place class win is 5 points. Your winning of best male of variety or best female of variety is 5 points. Winning best male or best female is 5 points, and winning best of winners is 5 points. So basically what they did is in the non-variety breeds, we don't have a best of variety. So our best male and best female, we would get 10 points, whereas a variety breed, since you have a variety win, they just broke the best male, best female apart and gave each 5 points. Okay? So here's a kind of another myth. So regardless if there are no other dogs in your breed, if you're the only dog entered, if the judge deems your dog worthy enough for the championship points, those wins will be recorded on the dog's record, provided your dog is entered correctly. So just because another dog beats you or you're the only dog in your breed, you still get those championship points if the judge gives you those wins. All right, so to get a better understanding of the wins and how the points are calculated for non-variety breeds, I'm going to use a demonstration of the Doberman Pinscher and just go through a judging of a small entry. So today, let's say we have an adult male, a puppy female, and a champion. The adult male wins first place in his class. He will be awarded 5 points for that class win. Since there are no other males, the judge can award that dog, the adult male, the best male, for an additional 10 points. So now that total for that dog is 15 points. 5 points for his class win and 10 points for that best male. We now move on to the females, where the puppy female will win her class and best female because there are no other females, so she too will get 15 points. 5 points for her class win, 10 points for the best female. Our next class will have that best male compete against the best female. And today we're going to have that male win over the female, and he is deemed the best of winners, and he will pick up another 5 points. So now his total is 20 points. He will also be credited with 1 competition win for beating the best female. So he won best male, and then he had no competition. He went against the best female and won the best of winners. So he beat another dog at the best male win or higher. So he will get a competition win for that particular win. So next is the champion. That champion is judged, and that dog is awarded the champion win. Since there are no grand champions, well, who comes back into the ring is the best of winners, which is that adult male and the champion, and they will compete for best of breed. If today that judge gives the best of breed to that adult male, then that dog will go on to represent that breed in the Guardian Group competition. So quickly, I'm just going to go over the points again for that Doberman Pinscher. The adult male won his class, best male, best of winners, and best of breed. He received a total of 20 points and 1 competition win. Again, though he won best of breed, there are no additional points. The points stopped at the best of winners. The puppy female won her class and best female and received a total of 15 points with no competition because she did not defeat another female or another dog while she was competing. Again, she will not lose her points just because she lost to the male, so those will go on her record. The champion won the champion class but did not earn a competition win towards the grand champion title. We will be speaking about the competition wins, so keep in mind the Doberman's wins when we move on to how the competition is calculated after we do a variety breed segment. So next, we're going to be looking at judging and the points for a variety breed. In the example today, I'm going to use the American Eskimo. So this breed has 2 varieties. There is a miniature and a standard variety. So today in the example I'm going to give, we're going to have a miniature puppy female, a standard junior female, and a standard adult female. There are no males, no champions, or grand champions entered in this particular example. First up, we're going to take the miniature puppy female who was awarded her first place in her class, so she'll get 5 points. And since she is the only one of her variety, she can go ahead and be awarded the best miniature female of variety and will receive another 5 points for that win. So she now has a total of 10 points. And she has to wait for the standard variety females to be judged before we can do best female. So now we go to the standard variety. So here we have both the standard junior and the standard adult females will win their class, and both will be awarded 5 points for their class wins. So next, the judge must pick the better of the 2 standard females, and this is for your best of variety for standards. So in this example, he chooses the junior female as his best standard female of variety. The adult female is done showing and has just earned 5 points for her class win. The standard junior female, she's already got her 5 points for her class win, and she will get another 5 points for the best of variety. So she now has 10 points. So with both the females done, your minis are done, your standards are done. Now those 2 have to come in and they will be judged for best female. So next, on the best female, again, we have the miniature puppy female and the standard junior female. And today the miniature female will win the best female. So she will get another 5 points for a total of 15 points. And will also receive a competition win because she beat another female within her breed at the best female level. So with no class males entered, a best of winners class cannot be held. You have to have a best male and a best female to hold the best of winners class. There were no males, so there's no points that can be given because there is no best of winners. However, that mini female can be awarded best of breed, and then she will go on to the Northern Breeds group. So quickly, here's the wins for the American Eskimo. And be ready because I want you to think about how many points they might have earned. The miniature puppy female won her class. How many points? Best female, how many points? I'm sorry, best female of variety and best female. How many points does she have? If you answered 15, you are correct. The standard junior female won her class and best of variety. How many points does she have? You calculated 10. That's the correct answer. And the standard female won her class but went no further. How many points does she have? Okay, the answer is 5. Which of the 3 American Eskimos received the competition win? Was it the miniature puppy female, the standard junior female, or the standard adult female? The only one eligible to receive the competition win was the miniature puppy female, because she was the one awarded the best female win. All right, so in this next segment, I will go over on how to calculate your competition wins. Competition wins were mentioned in the above examples, and figuring out competition win is probably the most difficult of the 3 requirements. Keep in mind, competition wins are only 1/3 of your requirements for the champion title. A minimum of 3 wins of competition must be earned, and you'll want to remember that you can only earn 1 competition win per show, and that you will need separate judges for each of your competition wins. So remember, you're keeping your points separate from your competition wins. So there are 5 different ways you can earn competition for your champion title. These are: win at minimum a best male or best female and defeat another dog of the same sex, or be awarded the best of winners over the opposite sex of your breed. If at this point your dog has not earned competition, say for example, you were the only dog, class dog in your breed, and you have not earned a competition win, then the following will calculate towards the competition, but remember, no additional points. So if you win best of breed over a champion or a grand champion of your breed, you can get competition. If there's no breed competition whatsoever, you can win a group placement, but remember, you must beat another dog. So if you're awarded a group 4, then there must be at least 5 dogs shown in that group in order to get a competition win. And lastly, you can win a best in show or a reserve best in show over another dog. So going back to the Doberman Pinscher and the American Eskimo, how did each of them earn their competition win? So the Doberman was awarded best of winners. There was no class dogs, but he did go over the best female, so that's how he won his competition win. The miniature American Eskimo was awarded best female, and she got her competition win by beating the standard females for best female. So we will now move on to the last of the 3 requirements to earn your champion title, and that is how to earn competition wins under 3 separate judges. Now here's the really important part. Your competition wins will be recorded as the judge who gives your dog the best male or the best female win, regardless of where that competition win was earned. Really important. Your competition judge is the one who did your breed. The best male or best female is the competition judge. So, for example, your dog earned its competition win from group or best or reserve best in show. The competition win will be recorded under the name of the judge who judged the breed. So it is of utmost importance that you keep track of who your competition judges are at the breed level. So to simplify, we're just going to do simple competition wins. So to simplify, let's say your dog has your competition wins under John Doe, Jane Doe, and Dosey Doe. If your dog has also earned at least the 100 championship points, then your dog has met all 3 requirements. You have your 100 points, you have your 3 competition wins. Remember, John, Jane, and Dosey, and then those are your 3 separate judges. But now, if your competition wins go something like this: John Doe, Jane Doe, and then 3 weeks later you win competition again under John Doe, that second win under John Doe will not count as competition. for the champion title. In this case, only that first competition win under John Doe will count for competition, so your dog would need one more competition win under someone other than John Doe or Jane Doe. So I hope this has simplified and answered questions on how the UKC Championship title is earned. So competition is pretty much the same. You're still going to earn your competition wins. The three different judges are basically the same thing. You still have to have your three judges. So one thing to remember about earning the Grand Champion title is that this title is earned by competition wins and not by earning a specific number of points. So when discussing the competition wins for the Grand, I will just be using the term leg to represent the competition win. So before you can start working on the Grand title, your dog must have the champion title, and you also must be showing in the champion class. So there are several ways to earn legs towards your Grand Champion title, but only one leg may be earned per show. And again, your competition starts over right from the fresh, right from the get-goes. So to earn your Grand Champion title, your dog must earn a total of 5 Grand Champion legs in any of the combinations that I'll be going over in just a second. And then you have to earn 3 of those legs under 3 different judges. So the other 2 legs can be earned again by different judges or one of the judges that you've already earned your competition under. So if you have John Doe, Jane Doe, Dosey Doe, John Doe, and Jane Doe again, you have your 3 judges, and then the other 2, if they're repeats, that is still fine. Those are still your competition wins, as long as 3 of those legs have separate judges. So here's how you can earn your legs towards your Grand title. You would have to win the champion class and defeat 2 or more champions of your, or you can win best of breed over Grand Champions, which in this case, there would have to be a minimum of 3 or more dogs combined and entered between the champion and the Grand Champion class. So if you have 2 champions, 1 Grand, and your champion goes best of breed, that's 3 or more combined. So you can win best of breed by going over 5 dogs of your breed. You can earn 2 Group 1 placements with 3 or more dogs competing. So this means each group placement is only worth a half a leg. So to get a full leg, you would need to place first in group over a minimum of 3 dogs in at least 2 shows. And also you can win a best of reserve, best in show with 5 or more dogs competing at best in show. So once your dog has met the 5 competition wins, earned under 3 judges, your dog will then be deemed a Grand Champion with United Kennel Club. So again, your competition judge in this case would be the one who judged the breed at that show.
Simone has another question. When entering, is that shown somewhere? And then when you're at the show, how do you know there's a champion or grand there?
Okay. Sometimes you don't. In many cases, if a club posts their entries, they will sometimes break it down with 4 numbers: how many males are entered, how many class males, how many class females, how many champions, and how many grand champions. That's if they post those numbers on the on the website, or they can do them on the dry erase board. Some clubs will post numbers also. If a club does not do that, you may need to speak to the event secretary. They can't or they should not give you who was entered, but they can at least tell you how many champions or how many grands are entered. And that way you'll know whether or not there's competition for that title. All right. So once your dog has earned the UKC Grand Champion title, you may continue onward to earn what we call the Grand Champion Gem titles. Those titles are the Emerald Grand Champion, Ruby Grand Champion, Sapphire Grand Champion, and Diamond Grand Champion. However, each of those gem titles have slightly different requirements. Though to go over those would really take a lot of time. So for that, I will leave it to you to read those in the confirmation rules. If at that point, if you have a question, please email us at confirmation@ukcdogs.com, and we can, help you through on how to earn each of those gem titles. What I hope to achieve in this segment is to pass on some of the more important yet lesser known details every exhibitor should know and hopefully understand. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have been involved in some sort of competitive sports all my life, for which I am truly grateful. This is not in my script, but I grew up in competitive roller skating. What you see like on ice skaters, I skated pairs with my brother and dance and figures. So learning coordination and music and timing was very, very important. So that really, as we go on with this presentation, can give you a concept of, some of that same things you need to, have in your own experience with dogs. So throughout my competitive years in skating, I learned how to pick myself up. You fell a lot, believe me. Tighten my laces and try again. So eventually through the practice, I found my patience. I became more dedicated to my sport. And with that, my confidence grew. So I took what my coaches gave me. I became a coach myself, and I've really worked with some wonderful children and a lot of wonderful people. So had it not been for my awesome coaches early on, I would not have had the personal growth, the confidence, or the understanding of patience when it comes to working with dogs. So if you're interested in showing your dogs and have never done so before, you may ask yourself, what do I do or where do I go? So the first word of advice and your biggest thing to remember is that every one of you started right here where you're at this very minute, green, every one of us. Now, what I have to say may sound silly to those who have been showing for a while, but if nobody has ever explained to you what to do and what to expect, you may end up feeling awkward at your first show with nothing more than your dog in a spike collar and a flexi lead. And boy, don't we feel awkward if we're there. So showing dogs does not come naturally to most of us. And along the way, you will need some sort of guidance where you can learn how to present your dog. So you will want to look for classes in your area that are best suited to help you train your dog. If you are an experienced exhibitor, and many of you are, I see many of you on the side here. So stick around because even you can learn something from this presentation. We've already gone through the UKC point system and how to earn the champion and grand champion titles. But going from that first show to earning that first title can be very intimidating. So when entering your dog, if you are entering your dog on the day of the event, one thing you do not want to forget is your dog's information. I've seen it. Nothing is more frustrating than you get to the show and find out you've forgotten your dog's registration number and, hello, anybody home? Nobody's there to answer the phone for you. So the nice thing about UKC is if your dog is registered, you will receive an easy entry card that will have the dog's basic information. Suggest that you place this card in your wallet so that you will always have it with you. So to enter a show, you will need your dog's information that includes the registration or temporary listing number, the correct spelling of the registered name, and the dog's date of birth. From there, you can complete your entry form pretty easily. The other essential items you will want to consider bringing along with you would be a chair and a dog crate. These items provide both you and your dog a space to relax before going into the ring, as well as a retreat when you are finished showing. You will want water and a dog dish for the water. If possible, Bring your water from home so that the water at the site does not upset your dog's stomach. In many cases, you will be at the show most of the day, so you will also want to bring some snacks along for you and something to drink, especially if there's not a food vendor on the grounds. If you use fresh bait, you will want to consider bringing a small cooler to store your snacks and your bait throughout the day. Finally, your grooming equipment. Remember, all of your major grooming should be done at home instead of at the event. This includes trimming of toenails, removing of excessive hair as allowed by your standard, and bathing your dog. So when you're at the event, your dog should only need maybe a quick touch-up, a quick brush through with a brush or comb, or wipe down with a towel. The use of grooming products at the show other than a conditioner with water is prohibited. So for showing, you will want a suitable show lead and collar. The show lead and collar does not have to be expensive. A simple slip collar and a strong enough lead to control your dog is all that is necessary when you first start out. So in time, you will find what works best for you and your dog, and soon you two will have a favorite collar and lead. So I have some tips on setting up. You want to arrive early enough to submit your entries and to get the dog settled in the building before the show starts. So once you arrive at the show, you may want to get a dog crate and your chair and take that into the building with you. As for the dog, I highly recommend you leave the dog in the car if possible. The reason for doing this is that getting into the building and finding out where everything is located, especially if you don't know the location, it is so much easier to do when you're not having to keep control of your dog at the same time. So once inside, you want to locate the entry table, the grooming and crating area, and the most important, the restrooms. Go and find a place in the grooming area and set up your crate. Having the crate set up early secures your space for your dog. And when it comes time to bring him in, it is so much easier that the crate is already set up for you. So after your crate is set up, then go and enter your dog into the event. So entering into the event. The entry forms are usually found at the end of the entry table, or they're set out on a nearby table. So you will want to complete all the information on the entry form, including the class you want your dog to be entered into. Now, so for some of you, choosing a regular class can be quite overwhelming, and I do hope that I can make this a little clearer for you. When I talk about a regular class, those are the classes where you earn your championship points. So in UKC, there is a total of 5 regular classes where your dogs can earn the champion points. 3 of these classes are age-based, and they consist of the puppy class, the junior class, and the adult class. The 2 remaining classes are the open class and the breeder handler class, though when entering your dog, you're only allowed to choose one of those classes, and you will want to select the class that best suits your dog for that show. If you're entering one of the age-based classes, just remember that age is based upon the age of the dog on the day of the show. So for example, if your dog were born on January 1st of this year, your dog would have been considered 6 months of age on July 1st. So dogs entered into the incorrect class may have the wins taken away. So knowing how old your dog is on the day of the show will most certainly be beneficial and will help you enter your dog into the correct class. UKC offers both intact and altered dogs the opportunity to earn conformation titles, and the classes are the same regardless if you're intact or altered. So the classes are, so to enter the puppy class, your dog must be 6 months of age and under 1 year of age. The junior class, your dog must be 1 year of age and under 2. The adult class, your dog has to be 2 years of age and older. For the open class, there is no age-related restrictions other than the dog must be 6 months of age on the day of the event to enter. And the breeder handler class, again, dogs must be 6 months of age or older, but this class has a handler restriction. To show in the breeder handler class, the class itself, the exhibitor must be the breeder of record for that class. If you need to go on to best male or best female, after the breeder handler class, a friend or designated handler can take the dog back in for best male or best female. So once you have chosen your class and signed your entry form, take it over to the entry table to get signed in, and in return, you will be given an armband number to wear while you are showing your dog. So after you enter, now is a good time to go and get your dog and all the remaining items from your car. And once you bring the dog in, feel free to walk the dog around the site, allow him to get acclimated to the building before settling him into his crate, and then make sure you give him some water. Once your dog is settled, you yourself may want to take a tour and find out where your rings are. Once you're comfortable, then you're going to allow yourself to relax before the show begins. So as I said, we'll go over determining how you can figure out when to show your dog. Well, the first thing you need when showing at a UKC event is a lot of patience. Since many clubs will not have a judging schedule because they take day of show entries, it may be a little overwhelming not knowing when your breed will be judged. Many clubs will usually know their order, their group order, so they may have those listed on a dry erase board at ringside, and then sometimes they will list the individual breeds along with their breakdown of how many are entered per sex, the champions and the grands, as soon as possible after entries close. They do that. Please be sure to review the board so that you will know when your breed will, which breed your dog will be following. If the club does not, excuse me, if the clubs do not list your breed, then you will want to ask, and then you want to keep an eye on the judging so that you are ready when it's your turn to exhibit. Okay. Since I've been showing for quite a while, so here I want to give you some personal show tips that you can use, and that hopefully that will help you to prepare and to show your dog, and hopefully it will settle your nerves. Okay. Though we will not learn every detail about handling or how to show your dog, some of these vital tips that I learned when I was first starting out may also help you and give you the advantage and help you to be better prepared to show your dog. So if you have a pen in hand, here's what I suggest. Go to ringside and watch the judge and how he handles his ring. You will want to note several things, such as, where does the judge want the exhibitors to line up when they enter the ring? Does the judge have them stack their dogs immediately for the first impression? Or does the judge have everyone go around the ring together? Or do they go around separately? On the examination, how does the judge approach the dog? Does he come in from the front with an extended hand? Or do they approach more from the side? What does that judge examine first? Do they do the dog's bite, or do they go directly to the body? Does the judge spend more time looking at one aspect of the dog more than the other? And if so, what? So knowing how the judge starts his ring and what you need to do when you enter the ring can help you stay calm through the process. When it comes to gaiting the dog in the ring, you will want to know the following. What pattern does the judge use, and do they allow time for a free stack on the return? Or is the dog immediately sent around to the end of the class? Does the judge like a loose leash on the down and back, or even on the go around? Do they allow bait? This is one thing you will want to know before you go into the ring. If the judge does not allow bait, then you may not take any food or toys into the ring. If they do allow bait, here are 2 tips on how to use it. First, if the judge allows the use of bait in the ring, you will really only want to use it to animate the dog, to get the dog's ears up or to get him up on the toes. You're not there to feed your dog breakfast or dinner. And secondly, the most courteous thing you can do is never give the dog a chunk of bait just before the judge examines the bite. So when it comes time for you to show your dog in the ring, remember, judges will usually always use the same ring procedure for the day. Your job at ringside is to observe the judge and think about how that dog will respond to the judge's approach. Knowing how the judge manages their ring gives you every advantage of knowing what to expect when you walk into that ring, and you'll be ready when it's your turn. So to be better prepared, you want to ask yourself, how do I need to interact with my dog to get the best possible evaluation from the judge? And then plan on how you're going to accomplish the goal. Just remember, everything does not come overnight, and you will need to practice to get better and have smoother handling. What the judge expects from you, the judge is only human, so they are very patient usually, and they're willing to help the newcomer, but they expect you to be on time in the ring. And so you want to be sure to allow yourself plenty of time to get your dog ready. If you need to groom the dog, know how much time that will take and plan accordingly. If you have more than one dog entered, have someone at the ring to hold the extra dogs at ringside. One thing you want to avoid is trying to take the dog directly from the crate and into the ring without the opportunity for that dog to stretch out or to take him outside. The judge expects you to have control of your dog at all times, but you don't necessarily need to have a death grip on your dog. Make it pleasant for your dog, for both you and your dog. Talk softly to your dog. Keep your dog quietly engaged, but remember, you don't want to distract other exhibitors that are in the ring. When the judge approaches your dog, remember, you'll be ready. You already watched him and his pattern. You kind of expect, or you kind of know what to expect when the judge is coming up to you. So one thing you do not want to do is when they approach is you do not want to drop your leash or let go of the dog. So instead you will want to gather up your leash, hold it in one hand. That allows you some control over your dog. And during the examination, you want to have at least one hand on your dog at all times. This will help you keep the dog steady during the exam. Remember, you're allowed to talk to your dog. So at this time, I want to do 2 demonstrations real quick. As you see, we have Buddy up over my right shoulder here. All right, let me show you real quick the examinations, and then we might have to end our session. So one quick thing. Buddy here. Put your hand through the loop and just gather that up real quick. This way you have control over his head. Showing the bite, you want to bring the hand down, change hands. Use your thumb for the lower lip in your hands, and you're going to slide those lips forward. If you have a dog with a side bite, use your fingers, do the side bite, and then your thumb and your forefingers on the side bite. And then if you have a dog with a full bite, you can open the mouth and allow the judge to see the entire bite. With some of that patience and practice, soon when we showed you how to gather up the leash and how to show the bite. So if you practice that at home, you will then become more and more comfortable with having to do this when you're in the show ring. So as the judge is completing their examination, you will want to hold your dog's head still. Again, kind of gather up that collar and kind of hold that dog's head still. Don't let go of the dog's head as the judge is going down the dog's body. So what happens if you're not holding on to your dog is going to start to turn around. And at that point, the judge can either determine that the dog is not able to be examined. If you have a dog that is a little more skittisher than the others, that's where a tendency to bite might happen as the judge is going down, examining the rear. On the males, the judges do have to examine the testicles, and some of those more guardian breeds, would prefer, leave your hands to yourself, but that is what a judge has to do. So as the judge is moving his hands down the dog's body, you will want to adjust your own hands to allow the judge to complete his examination. So the next thing you'll be asked to do is to move your dog or to gait him. So most patterns will either be a triangle or a straight down and back. You should already know which pattern the judge will be doing because you've watched his procedures. Though whichever pattern, you want to be sure that you are moving in a straight line. While it's important that you know where your dog is, it's useless if your dog is swaying to and fro and the judge cannot evaluate the dog's movement. So where you will want to know where you're going, and the simplest way to do a straight line is to pick a stationary target at the end of the ring and aim for it. So the word of advice, do not pick a person that's standing outside the ring. The reason you don't pick a person is if they move, so does your target. So pick something stationary, aim for it. Then on the turnaround, you will want to do the same thing, but this time you can use the judge as your object because you want to gait the dog straight back to the judge. But keep in mind, if that judge moves, you want to have a stationary object because the judge is trying to move to see how the dog is going to stand. So keep that stationary object and then try to stay straight. So by noting and practicing all these tips, keeping a steady hand and being consistent with your moves, soon you and your dog will become a team. So now in closing, we didn't have much left. So in closing, I hope that you have found this presentation for the beginner helpful, and I hope that you will find showing your dog a wonderful experience. But before I leave, I have one more thing. I want to tell you about the time I showed my first conformation dog. Even though this was a match, it was still very intimidating, and I was very, very green. I was originally at the trial. I was there to trial my dog in obedience. And I did not know there was a conformation match being held at the same location. Fortunately, I had brought my new golden retriever puppy with me, and I really wanted to show her. I bought her because I wanted to learn, and I wanted to show her at the match. So after watching a few breeds, I wanted to enter. No big deal, right? Wrong. I had no clue what to do. And there was a kind older lady there. I don't want to say old because I'm up in that bracket. We just don't want to talk about that. So there was a nice lady there who was helping me, and she was giving me advice, but she spoke a foreign language, and the words I did not understand, such as stack, gait, withers, bite. What are these words? I had no clue. I must have really looked like a deer in the headlights look. And the lady said, relax, go get your show lead. And then all you need to do is walk your dog around the ring and make her stand up. What? I lost her at show lead. I told her that all I had with me was my older dog's choke collar and a 6-foot leash. And that 6-foot leash was probably a good inch. That's when I first started out, that's what everyone had. So she looked at me and she shook her head and she said, no, dear. No, that will not do. You need a much shorter and a thinner lead. Are you sure you don't have something that you could possibly use in your car? Okay. Well, I looked, and lo and behold, yeah, I did find something shorter and thinner. So shaking my head, yeah, I knew what I found would work. So I ran off and I showed my puppy with gusto. Oh man. Yeah, I was still nervous, but I just walked her around the ring and kind of stuck her up, and little golden retriever puppy, always constantly happy. So that day, my little miss took Best of Breed puppy, showing on a 72-inch shoelace that I took off my skating boot, and a hex nut to tighten down around her neck. So, you see, you don't need an expensive show leash and collar, but I learned a very important lesson. So if you want to be a better handler, here's my advice. Practice, and then practice more. Have someone video you and your dog. You want to sit at ringside and watch the judging. It does not matter what breed is being shown. Watch how the handlers present their dog and how they fare in the ring under that particular judge. Try picking the winners of the class before the judge makes their decision. Talk to breeders, talk to judges, talk to other exhibitors, find out what their perspective is on their breed.